magical makers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Nicole of Woven Tales Designs. We are kicking off 2025 with a new vlog series where I am hoping to get a clean slate in my design book. I want to start with a fresh open space in my head, and I'm ready to work with some really cool projects. I have a lot of things in mind to work on this year, but it's really hard to move forward when you have things that are left unfinished, such as our favorite word, WIPs. If you're not familiar with this term because you're new to the crochet or knitting world, WIPs just really means works in progress. So most pattern makers have a lot of WIPs in progress because we have a lot of ideas, and most knitters and crocheters in general have a lot of WIPs because we just like having multiple different ideas to work on at a time. We can pick and choose. We can decide, oh, today I'm in a more like adventurous mood, so I'm gonna make something with a lot of like changes. Or some days you're just having a rainy day and you wanna watch a new series on Netflix and you just wanna, make something really simple. I am pretty average and I have a lot of WIPs. So with that being said, welcome to my series where I'm going to spend the beginning of this year for the months of January, February, and March working on my WIPs as diligently as possible, making a whole week schedule out of it. And I want to, before I even get to showing you my projects, I want to give you my game plan, all right? Because you can't just have an idea to do something. You get things done when you have a plan. So let's talk about my plan to make some WIPs finished and to complete some projects that have been literally collecting dust. So in this little kind of notebook sleeve that I made for myself, this is where I keep a little weekly calendar. I bought this from Target. I'm sure you can find something similar. And my plan is to really take responsibility for my projects, because if I want to be more disciplined as a designer, it has to start with my loose projects that I also do as well, in my opinion, because I get very sidetracked very easily and I have limited time to work on things because I am a stay-at-home mom and my toddler is quite an active little guy. So with that being said, here is my little planner. I will break down in maybe a short or another small video how I will lay out my week on here. I think it is important to take, things and write them down, because then they become a new level of awareness in your brain. So at least with my brain, this is my hack to being a little bit more aware of what I have on my plate, as opposed to just having in the back of my mind the 7 projects that I've had started and not finished, And then that way I have a little bit more discipline. So when I do get to designing new things, this system will absolutely come into play and it will be easier for me to understand my own process and what I need out of my week. So this is my little planner. You're gonna see me using this. Once a week, I'm going to sit down, show you my filled out and completed planner, and I will give you guys the rundown of, the successes, if I had any things that were fastened off, if I had any things that were really giving me issue. You might even see me be completely dramatic and just ixnay a WIP and just frog it, because why waste my joy on something that is either not working or B, it's just the one that I keep avoiding in my process. So like I said, I have a game plan. I would like to work on my WIPs 5 out of the 7 days of the week. So I'm going to treat this kind of like a 9 to 5 kind of schedule. So Monday through Friday, I am not going to pick up anything new. I am not going to play or swatch or anything with any new projects. Monday through Friday are going to be solely for my WIPs in this bag. Did I show you the bag? I'll show you the bag in a second. You're gonna be like, and Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to leave for whatever I want to work on. So maybe that means I do have another day to work on a WIP. Maybe that means that I can finally let my brain do a little creative life time or whatever. Maybe that means I decide that I'm gonna take this time to make that swatch of something new, or I can try a new yarn, or I can potentially hash out a problem of a pattern that I've been working on you know, in my long list of patterns that I'm always working on. So Saturday and Sunday will be kind of like my free time for me. And it makes sense because usually on the weekends, you know, you have plans for other things anyway. I also am gonna have a loophole. If there is a birthday or a holiday throughout these 3 months, which my son's birthday is in January, my sister's birthday is in March. Like if there's anything going on that's kind of like out of the ordinary throughout these 3 months, I will treat those as a Saturday and Sunday. So I will maybe potentially get an extra free day for myself. I'm doing this all so I can kind of self-motivate, because if I get these WIPs done and we do kind of like a snowball effect, well, watch me be down to 1 out of however many projects are in here. I don't know how many projects are in that bag. If I get down to only having 1 left, then I will maybe increase my free days out of the week to not 2, but maybe 3 or 4. And then I will absolutely feel a lot more balanced as a maker, as a designer. I hope you're with me on this. If you feel inspired by this, please go ahead and copy and paste this schedule for yourself. I am a naturally very free thinking, free creative minded person, but I am also very type A, so I thrive in a system, in a routine. If I don't have that, I can't be creative. I get creatively blocked usually when I have too much going on and not enough of like a path for things to move along. So with that being said, let me show you my giant bag of WIPs. You're probably gonna be a little shocked, or maybe you won't, and maybe you'll be like, oh, that's it? I don't know how you're gonna react to this. Me, I'm just excited that I can say that it's only in 1 bag, but it's a big bag. Okay, are you ready? I'm gonna get my arms ready here. This is my WIP bag. It's so big, oh my gosh. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go through my bag and we're gonna see what I got going on in here, what is going to be, once we reveal these things, I'll probably make a list of like most hated, or I should say most avoided to most ready to be done. Like most excited to finish to like least excited to be finished, but they all need to be done. There could be a chance for something to be frogged, but I would love to finish all of them. This would be a huge boost for me as a designer, and I'm sorry for seeing like cat hair. My cats love, I have a medium hair cat, but she's like low-key a long hair cat. And she loves to sleep on this bag. So if you're seeing like tufts of hair floating, that's what it is. But let's go through this bag. I'm excited because I just packed this. My husband and I and my little son, we have quite the gypsy life because my husband travels for work a lot. We are not a military family, but it sure does feel like it sometimes. And most of the time I live in duffel bags with my WIPs, with my yarn, you name it. Oh, also, I didn't even say this. So I did not bring any yarn with me on this part of our year. So I'm here for 1 month and then I'm at my parents' for 2 months. And for those 3 months, I only have what's in this bag to work on. I have a collaboration that I am working on this year, which I can't wait for you guys to hear about. But that's the only new project I'm allowing in because I've already agreed to it before I decided to tackle this discipline and practice for myself. So that's like the only thing, but I told myself I'm only allowed to work on new designs Saturday and Sunday. That's why I gave myself 2 days, because I don't want to like fall behind on my collaboration, but this is absolutely a priority. So with that being said, this is all I brought. I don't even have the ability to be distracted for those 5 days a week. So let's get into it. What is in my giant black bag of WIPs? I'm sure you're ready to see it. Let's talk about it. Okay, first thing in the bag, let's just rip this Band-Aid off right now and let's talk about my 2023 temperature blanket. Yes, 2023. We are 2 years later now, 2025. And I started this temperature blanket kind of mid-January. I actually have a couple of vlog episodes that I tried to start vlogging this journey of this temperature blanket, and it didn't really like go too well because I forgot how insane my travel schedule was, and I definitely bit off more than I could chew. I didn't prioritize, I didn't discipline myself, hence why we're here right now. But this is a beautiful project. This is my own design of a temperature blanket. I have not followed anybody else's pattern. This is my own, something I would hope to turn into a pattern. Could be, if I freaking get my act together. So this is my temperature blanket. I have it split into 2 bags, what has already been worked on, and the yarn that goes with it. So far, I have this, and actually let me put the big on this bag off to the side here. This is what we have so far. It is this, oh, that's the wrong side. It is this gorgeous, like, almond motif that I took inspiration from. I wanted like earthy colors that match a lot of Mediterranean style interiors, and I wanted something that I could make in strips and then seam together, that kind of blanket pattern style. It is crochet seamed together, so it's not going to be like a sewn seam. So I don't even remember how many months I have left of this. That is something that I will start talking about in my weekly check-ins, because I will be doing weekly check-ins on Wednesdays because of WIP Wednesday, y'all. And I really love it though. It's already super heavy. I don't even know how long it is. I will probably measure it and let you know in those check-ins, you know, and see like where we are, where we start. But so far, really lovely. The pattern is just so interesting, eye-catching. I actually don't even know how large it's going to be because this has been, this was a very fun experiment for me. This is worked up with 2 yarns from Hobby Lobby. The first one is the Soft and Sleek, I believe, from Hobby Lobby, which if I can, it's like one of their like standard medium weight yarns that are very like, they have like all the colors. The very last round is worked up with a yarn that is discontinued. Of course it's discontinued. This is worked up with Yarn Bee's Nature's Nook. It was that kind of like wefty, like kind of like natural wool mimicking looking yarn. Very pretty. I was obsessed with that yarn, hence why I used it. I have a lot of it in the colors that I don't need. And I ended up having to buy 2 skeins of the yarn that I ran out of through Etsy, through a seller that was like selling part of their stash, I guess. So I'm thankful that I have this. Then I was like super advanced and I was like, oh, well, when I work up the days in these templates, because each thing is a day, each almond shape is a day. When I was working up the days that we were traveling on the calendar, I actually have a fun strand of like, it's like this gold white crochet thread worked into it. So there's a little bit of sparkle throughout random parts of the blanket. And I actually kind of love that. It gives it kind of like a bohemian, kind of like world market look, you know? Everything is seamed together with a 3rd yarn, which is from Hobby Lobby's, I love this yarn, Prince. Beret Day, B-E-R-E-T, Beret Day. Yeah, I couldn't like remember the spell. WIP number 1 is my 2023 temperature blankets. One day it will be finished. One day. I'm not, you know, it might not be at the end of the 3 months, but one day it will be finished. Okay, another WIP that is in here is not a typical WIP. We'll call this WIP number 2. This is my I-cord project. So when I find that I have a scrap amount of yarn left over from a project, or I just decide that, you know, like 25 grams is not worth saving for me and I want to just like kind of like, I don't want to throw it away because that's waste, but I also don't want to use it for anything, I turn those things into I-cords. I turn those small amounts of yarn into I-cords. So what is in this WIP bag, within the big WIP bag, is my I-cord WIP situation. So I have my I-cord maker. This is Tulip brand, really easy to work with, really easy to use. It is a little finicky with some yarns, but that makes sense, right? It's kind of like that whole knitting machine drama. Not every knitting machine likes certain yarns. But what I do is I take like small amounts of yarn and I make an I-cord with them. And then I never really seam them up because then I use the tails to join each one together. And then you have this one long piece of yarn. And eventually when it gets to be a certain size, or basically too big to carry around anymore, I then turn it into a piece. I've done this once before. I've practiced this many times, but I've made a complete like carpet out of I-cords, and I use that for where my cat's food and water are. And it's great because we move around so much, they always know where to find their food and water because I always place it on this carpet. And it's really easy to wash because most yarns I use are acrylic. This is my bag of yarn. So it is actually quite full. So that means I now need to take all the yarn that is in here and I need to turn it into I-cords. Last time that I made that carpet, I didn't really use the same weight throughout the carpet. And it actually made working up the carpet really, really painful for my hands because I was fighting my tension every 5 minutes. And I hated that. So what I'm gonna do is, as I'm working the yarn up into the I-cords, I will then be splitting the I-cords into separate bags. One will be for a thinner I-cord coming from like maybe a DK or a fine weight yarn. And then the other bag will be for my medium weight yarn because you can't really make I-cords thicker than medium weight. And in fact, some medium weight yarns do not work well in these I-cord makers. They just don't. So, and that's another thing. I have another bag for yarns that don't work with the I-cord maker, and those things will be turned into yarn cakes. I'm not adding that to my WIP video roundup because I just don't really think that, I mean, if you guys want to see me cake up yarn into scrappy cakes, let me know. But it's not a priority for me. It's not technically a WIP. It's just getting rid of leftovers. But this will eventually turn into something. So that's why it is included in this part of my WIP project. And again, because this is so full and I refuse to let the bag get bigger than this, it's time for this to be worked up into I-cords. So that's actually a pretty fun thing for me to do. When my hands are tired or I don't want to think about a pattern or I don't want to follow anything, this is like the perfect project for like, I'm just too tired to do anything, but I don't want to just watch a movie. So this is what I turn to. I make I-cords and it's really nice. I actually did a lot of this when I was pregnant with my son a couple years ago, and I just found it to be so relaxing. I did a lot of knitting machine stuff too. Just something that's mindless that it makes me feel like I'm doing something with myself. So anyway, WIP number 2 is the I-cord bag WIP. Yay. Okay, WIP number 3 is a potential frog situation, but because I have half of it worked up, I don't want to get rid of it. So this is separated into its own little baggie within the bag, like the other ones are. This is a toddler tether backpack. So this is what the front panel looks like. And as I go to do my weekly check-ins, I will give you guys a real picture of what one worked up looks like when it's finished. So this is one of the panels. And I have a second panel. Oh, I have 2 panels. Oh my gosh. This actually I will have to finish this because I have more than I thought was done. So we have a front and a back panel. And there we go. I still have to make the straps, but I have the yarn in here. So I have this dark green, or I guess it's like grass green color. And then I have this like neon lime green color. And those are my 2 yarns. I think I got this one from Michael's. It's just like their standard medium weight yarn. I don't remember the brand. And then this is the yarn I acquired from my mother-in-law. She just gave it to me and I was like, she's like, can you use this? I was like, oh, it's such a great green. I can use it for something. Oh my God, so cool. And I have the zipper prepped and ready to work into. How awesome is that? Okay, so what basically needs to go down with this is that I have to finish working into the zipper. The backpack is created by 2 panels, and then I work into the zipper to prep it, and then I crochet the side of the bag, like the width side of the bag. I crochet that once this is prepped, and then I make the straps, and then I work with the tether. My tether is usually worked with this like I don't know what to call this. It's like, I guess, webbing. I don't know, that's the official sewing term. It's like a webbing. It's a nylon webbing, and I use this because I used to crochet the tethered part and I stopped because it would just stretch out and then what's the point? So I have to prep this with a swivel hook, which I didn't bring with me, but I can go to the store and get one. It's not super expensive. But I also have my buckle because I use the buckle in the straps to keep it kind of like tight on the toddler because they're crazy. And this one I have patches to decorate it with. I have these cute little dinosaur patches that I got from Michael's in this little pack of like typical boy patches, spaceships and pizza, rocket ships and stuff. So I have those to decorate with, and then I have this elastic thread, which I use for the straps to keep the straps from stretching out. So I will probably, again, I will show you like what it looks like finished off. Oh, look, there's a little bit left of the other skein. So this is WIP number 3, is a toddler tether backpack, but it's great that I have this because the one my son is currently using is really getting worn out. And so he's probably gonna be ready for another one. He goes with them pretty quick. So WIP number 3 is a toddler tether backpack, and I think it's gonna be really cute. Okay, next WIP we got going on here. Gotta do this quickly because it's almost bedtime at my house. Next WIP we got going on, this is one that like, I started this years ago. So there was like a whole, it was the beginning of the granny square phase. I want to say this is like this is a 2-year-old WIP, okay? I have frogged this and restarted it several times because I absolutely love the yarn. However, I wish I liked granny squares more to be motivated to finish it, but I don't know, I just don't. But I think this would look great as a granny square project, so I have restarted it again. What it is I have this wonderful variegated yarn from Hobby Lobby. This is a cotton yarn. I love this cotton. I think this is the colorway. Oh man, what's this colorway here? Harvest. So it kind of goes in and out of like reds, purples. It's marled with white. Really pretty. And then I thought it would look really good with this like pink cotton yarn. It's just like I love this cotton brand. Love this so much, and I started, my initial project with this was to make a sunburst granny square tote bag, and I was gonna try to line it. Well, that never worked out. It actually required like 29 or some bigger number of granny squares that I wasn't anticipating, and I don't know why I didn't expect it to be, I don't know what I was expecting. I didn't read the whole pattern. I just bought it because I was like, oh, that's so pretty. This is what the sunburst pattern kind of looks like. I don't know how well this is gonna show up on camera, but it's pretty. It's really pretty, and the yarn looks beautiful. I just don't love the pattern exactly because with my tension, and this is a me thing, with my tension, it ends up kind of warping, and I think I would have to block this, but I don't even know if I can because it's cotton, so we'll see. It just doesn't look the cutest. This is what it looks like with the pink as the border. So again, I think it looks really fun. It's nice and warm. I love warm toned colors. If you couldn't tell already, love warm toned colors. So this is what it looks like as a square. This is completely unblocked, but I started making a bunch of these. Where I'm gonna pivot with this, because I don't wanna make a tote bag anymore, but I still love this, I wanna make myself a duffel bag. And I think I'm just gonna jerry rig it. I don't think I'm gonna look for a pattern because clearly I've already started with one pattern. Now I have to pivot, but I'm gonna take this exact thing and basically make a cylinder. And then I'm gonna take the sunburst pattern and keep going in the round with it. Maybe I'll just do like double crochets in the round once I start the center point to make 2 circle ends, and then I will, I really want to line the bag if I can. I have never lined a bag before with fabric, so that'll be another project. So we'll see. I hope I will have enough yarn for this because I don't even know if they carry this colorway at Hobby Lobby. If you know if they do, please leave me a comment down below because I mean, I could also just go to the store and find out. So this is one I'm not entirely jazzed about, but my idea of turning the squares into some sort of duffel bag make me more excited about it. So that is the second chance, or fourth chance I should say, that I'm giving this project. So if this works out, it works out. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna frog it, and I will save this cotton yarn for something else in the future. Who knows what it will be. Thankfully, the yarn that I bought is the type of yarn that I like to buy. I don't use a lot of cotton, but these colors are colors that I always have in my stash. Warm tones, pink, blushy colors. It kind of fits like my brand and my logo. So I always have these. And if I don't use them for a project per se, if I use them in a tutorial, they're even better. Cotton mat yarns look really good on camera, so they're perfect for tutorials. So that is what this is. Project number 4 is the granny bag project. Okay, So this next one, project number 5, is something that I have had in my WIP pile for, I want to say, at least a year and a half. This is the second time I'm making this item, and it's something that I tested for a friend of mine. Her name is Bonnie of Woodland Stitchcraft. She ran a tester call for a child little dress tunic, and it was really cute, and I just had to make it. I wanted to try to make it with a cotton-based yarn because the first time I made it, I'll put a picture up here, I made it with acrylic yarn, and it was cute, and I loved the colors. It was very light and beautiful, and I gave it to my niece. She's so cute. She looks adorable in it. I loved it. Her mom really likes it too, so that was a bonus. So anyway, this is the Evergreen Tunic by Woodland Stitchcraft, and it's really, really pretty. The colorway is a self-striping yarn, and then the complementary yarn I used, actually, and maybe this is why I don't love this, the complementary color that I used was, how do I put this? Way too close to one of the stripes in the self-striping yarn. So you can't really tell that it's two different yarns, and that's my bad. So where this little tree motif of raised stitches using like front post stitches, where it would normally stand out, it's not standing out at all. This is where I have it. It's almost done. You would think it's done. It's not. There's a bottom band that matches the kind of tree part here, and that is what I have left to finish, and then I just add buttons. So this is what it looks like, almost. This is like the bottom of the tree, and then the more I work up the rounds and add in the rest of the branches, there you go. Another thing I don't love though, I did not carry my floats as well as I should have. I have really long floats back here. This has been the bane of my existence because I've had this for so long, and it's the one thing that's always within reach that I never reach for. So it's now or never, do or die. I do not want to frog this because I'm so close to being done. I mean, I think I literally have like 10 rows left, and then I just seam it to the bottom of the skirt, and then we're done. Hi, buddy. This is my son, Anthony. Anthony, say hi. Hi. You say hello. 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 He's very curious. So that is what we have here for project number 5. Whoa! No, 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 no. Do not touch mommy's camera. Project number 5 is the Evergreen Tunic by Woodland Stitchcraft, and it will get done even if I have to give myself demerits to get it done. Okay, project number 6 though is a dragon, and this is not my pattern. This is, obviously I don't have a dragon pattern. You would see in my shops if I did. This is Mama Stitchetti's dragon, and I will put it up on the screen here. I'm not exactly sure the name of it, but you'll see it here. This is a great pattern. I made 3 of these. These are excellent. This pattern is so easy to read. It's so cute. I love, love, love. So right now, out of this project, I only have the legs done. The legs and the beginning of the head. So I'm not gonna show you the head because it really doesn't count. I've got like 4 rounds of it done. But these are the legs. I love how she instructs you to do the feet. I think they're really cool. I triple stranded some medium weight yarn to match the stitch thickness of the bulky 6-weight yarn that I have. So really cute. I'm using Lion Brand's Thick and Quick Respun, which is their recycled polyester yarn. So I have it in like the orangey color. I had gotten this color for pumpkins, and I made 1 pumpkin with these yarns, and then I had so much left over because it's a really big skein of yarn. I mean, God, how much does this weigh? This is like, I wanna say like 200 grams. 340 grams for 1 skein. I mean, look how big this is. It's huge. So my colors are this like orange color that you see here. Then the wings, I believe I'm going to do in this like yellow color, this kind of like, it's called Sunshine. And then the accent colors, the white of like the horns, and then I think there's scales down the back. I think we'll do this in the white too. I'm not really quite sure, but this one is really fun to work up. This is the yarn I used for those claws, or I should say like the toes. They're not really claws because they're like soft and rounded. This is a variegated yarn from Wool Needles Hands. She is an awesome yarn dyer, and I love watching her knitting podcast and her like knitting on YouTube. She's fantastic, a well of information if you are if you're getting into knitting or you're wanting some good informational content on knitting. She's great. I can't recommend her enough. But anyway, this is one of her yarns. I literally have made so many things with this one skein of worsted weight yarn. I keep using it as an accent color. So I thought it would be great to pair with this, which this is Hobby Lobby's Soft Secret in the colorway Cognac. I think I made that up. I'm pretty sure I made that up. But I paired these together. I double stranded this one and then single stranded this. So that's what you got for the toes. That's that color that you saw there. I'm gonna keep it in this bag because I don't remember if I need it again. And if I don't, fine, I'll just stow it away. But that is what I'm doing, is I'm making a dragon with those yarns. I have polyfill. I did bring polyfill with me. That'll be an easy project to complete out of this bag because dragons are fun to make. I love making them. I don't have them to keep for myself, but I like making them because I like having like many pieces. I'm one of the weirdos. I like sewing, and I don't really enjoy no-sew patterns because I like the joy of like putting the pieces together. So I don't know. Anyway, so that is project number 6, is the dragon whip. It's almost bedtime, so you're gonna hear a lot of noises. Okay, project number 7 is another quick one. It will be done in one sitting. In fact, it will allow me to work on something else for the night. It's these slippers. Now, these are a pattern I have been working on for ages. These are my take on mucklucks, and they're made with 2 panels, a front and a back, and then you create the gusset, crochet gusset, not like a sock knitting gusset, different kind of gusset, but you create this kind of like gusset for the ankle, and then you seam it all together and then add the fur trim, bada bing, bada boom. But you would think, oh, but Nicole, this looks finished. Yes, it does, you're right. Normally this would be finished, but I have been writing this one down because I do want to turn it into a pattern that I will publish possibly this year. So in order to do that, I wanted to create the option for, instructions on how to make a bottom for the slipper. So I have pre-cut myself out of some faux leather these pieces here, and these are just cut to size, super simple. I just have to add the bottoms to these, which now I realize I don't think I have my skip blade with me. So I will have to work on figuring out how to get this on. Dang it, why did I not get my skip blade? Oh well, I'm gonna have to jerry rig that. So now I gotta do some brainstorming because I just realized I don't have my skip blade. So project number 7 is to finish these slippers. Okay, project number 8, and I thought this was the last one. It's not, I do have one more. Project number 8 is going to be a new pattern that I'm working on. Hi buddy. And it is my new monkey pattern. I have been obsessed with one of my son's favorite toys, which is a stuffed monkey, and he is really, really cute. And we call him Mono, which literally is monkey in Spanish. We are a bilingual house, and I love that we have, that toy is so soft and so squishy, and he's been everywhere with us. And I thought, man, I wonder if I could like recreate this, because I have fur yarn and I have chenille yarn and I have a bunch of bulky weight yarns because I do like working with bulky weight yarns. So I was like, I wonder if there's a way to create a replica of him in my own style using fur yarn. And so I played around with him and I was working on like trying to get the face right, and I figured it out. So this is in the WIP bag though. Even though I've already mastered this pattern, it's written down, I just have to like film it and write it up and put it out there. I do not have this yarn. I have to order it. This was the first one I started messing with. I have most of the arms done. I have 3.5 arms done. And I think, do I have a tail? I don't have a tail. So I need to finish half of one arm, finish a tail, and then make the body. This was the yarn that I used for the face and the hands. This is Sweet Snuggles Light. I think it's that like flowery bloom colorway that they have. And then this is a fur yarn from Knit Picks. This is their fairy tale fur. It used to be called Fable. I don't know why they got rid of that name and changed it, but they rebranded it. It's now called fairy tale fur, and it's in this really cool colorway called Mojo. This pattern, I don't know when it's gonna come out, but it definitely will be coming out this year because it's so fun. And actually, even though I like patterns where you sew the pieces on, this is like literally mostly no sew. The only thing you sew on are the ears to the head, but you kind of have to because depending on your tension, like getting them put on, and it would be more dramatic to have you no sew add them in. So it's a really cute pattern. I can't wait for that to be finished so I can give you kind of like the full sneak peek of what's to come. But project number 8 is the monkey whip. The last whip are these little baby bunnies. Now, I don't have a complete one, but I have a lot of bodies done. One of my best friends had her second child, and Caitlin, my friend, she wanted to commission some amigurumi pieces for a baby mobile. And so she wanted little bunnies, and they were gonna get like little bows around their necks, like little like bow ties. And I need to make 6 of them. I have 3 in white and 3 in gray that I have to finish. So I have 3 of the gray finished. I have 1.5 of the white finished. So this has been taking forever because I needed really small safety eyes. Somehow didn't have any. So I ordered some from Knit Picks. They arrived. I had them for 2 days and then I lost them. And then I kept forgetting to order more. And then I finally found them again. And then I like made one more. And then this has been the on and off again project for so long, but it needs to get done. So it's not super complicated. I just need to make 6 bunnies. So I still have all the ears to make and their little bow ties. And I wanted to make little carrots and like turnips and like a little, maybe I'll use some embroidery floss to do it. But I wanted to make little veggies to kind of put with the mobile to add to like the carrot or to the rabbit theme. So think of like heirloom rabbits, kind of like Peter Rabbit, like the storybook, the original story. That is kind of the vibe that we were going for. So these are gonna be really cute. I'll put the pattern in the description below. It's a really lovely pattern. It's actually originally written for textured yarns like fur and chenille, but I wanted these to be small handheld ones so that they're weightless for the mobile. So that's why I went with this kind of like DK, I think this is Soft and Sleek DK from Hobby Lobby, and the white and then the gray color. So that is the last whip. So technically that makes 9. This absolutely has to get done. I would love to have this done before I leave Florida so I can ship it off to them and be done with it. Their child has been born and it is now, if I don't get it out before I leave for this trip, I will never get it out. I just know myself. So that is the last whip that I have to get done. So in conclusion, I have 9 things. What I'm gonna start doing now is I'm going to make my calendar layout, put it on a separate video to show you like how I organize my whips for this month. So if anybody wants to get organized with me, you can. I think this is a great idea. You don't have to buy a special journal. You just need, even if you just wanna make your own, like take a notebook and flip it over and make your own calendar for your whips, you can totally do so. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment down below. Which one do you think is gonna get made first? Which one do you think is going to be made last? I think we all know it's the temperature blanket. How many whips do you have in your pile? I don't know. That was, everything fit in that one bag and a little side bag. So there's that. I'm really excited to get this done so I can really hone in on my other creative endeavors this year. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a magical week, adding your magic to your stitches in your own way. I will see you guys in the next video, and I'm gonna go put my son to bed now. Bye. Whip, baby whip. Gosh, that's disgusting. Oh my God, why? That is it's got a big old hole in it. Monkey. Ugh. Really though. Oliver, figure out a new path. My cat's trying to jump up on here and just like almost knock the camera over. I just realized you're seeing my Clump and Seal cat litter in the background. Great stuff, by the way. That's getting cut out, obviously.